Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. In 1 hour and 2 minutes, Mboko upsets top seed Gauff in Montreal. Her racket dropped and, unbelieving, she covered her face with her hands as a full stadium rose to its collective feet and cheered. Victoria Mboko, the rising 18-year-old Canadian wild card here at the Emina Mboko National, continues to amaze. On Saturday night, Mboko knocked off number 1 seed Coco Gauff at the Emina Mboko National 6-1, 6-4 in a little over an hour to advance to Monday's quarterfinals. She's the youngest woman to make the Elite Eight here since Gauff 3 years ago. What does it feel like to be in a WTA Tour quarterfinal for the first time? It's incredible, Mboko said in French in her on-court interview. I'm so happy to beat such a great champion. Mboko is only the second wild card in the Open era to defeat the top seed at the Canadian Open after Stephanie Dubois in 2006 versus Kim Clijsters. She's the 5th youngest player to defeat the top seed in a WTA 1000 event since the format's introduction in 2009. Older only than Gauff, Rome 2021, Mira Andreeva, Indian Wells 2025, Belinda Bencic, Toronto 2015, and Kai-Chin Cham, Tokyo 2009. Mboko is also the youngest Canadian quarterfinalist at the Canadian Open since Helen Keller in 1987. Mboko, who began the season at number 333 in the PIF WTA rankings, came into the tournament at number 85. The win over Gauff sends her to number 53 in the live rankings. One more would bring her to number 24. It began with 20 straight wins in smaller events and 4 titles. She qualified in Rome, her second WTA Tour event, and pushed Gauff to 3 sets in a second-round match. I'm sure we're going to have many more battles in the future, Gauff said. Yeah, I think she's going to have a lot of success on tour. Coming in, Gauff was her own worst enemy, striking 37 double faults in 2 previous matches against Danielle Collins and Veronika Kudermetova. The total against Mboko was only 6, but those second serves hurt Gauff. She won only 12 of 27 points. Mboko, showing enormous poise, managed to save all 5 break points against her, while converting 4 of 5 against Gauff. That essentially was the match. Mboko will play the winner of the later match between Zhu Lin and Jessica Buses-Monero in a Monday quarterfinal match. The other quarterfinal pits number 24 seed Marta Kostyuk versus number 3 seed Elena Rybakina. Kostyuk outlasted number 28 McCartney Kessler 5-7, 6-3, 6-3 in a marathon that ran 2 hours and 35 minutes. Rybakina defeated number 30 Diana Yastremska in a similar match, prevailing 5-7, 6-2, 7-5. Montreal buzzed with the static electricity of an impending storm, not the kind that darkens skies and pours rain, but one that brews in the nervous breaths of thousands, packed into the IGA Stadium. It was quarterfinals day at the National Bank Open, and every local headline screamed one name: Coco Gauff, the top seed, the American wunderkind, the reigning queen of speed and spin. But far less ink had been spilled on the name Veronique Mboko until today. Midnight the first serve. At just 18, Mboko was Canada's not-so-secret secret, born in Cameroon, raised in Toronto, and schooled in quiet grit. No one expected her to reach this far in the tournament. Not against Gauff, who had steamrolled her previous opponents with that lethal forehand and cold poise. But as Gauff stepped to the baseline to serve, Mboko's eyes told another story. She wasn't here to make up the numbers. Her racket swung like it had something to prove. First point, a backhand return down the line. Clean winner. Silence, then cheers. Scores 0-15. 10-24, the crowd shifts. 10 minutes in, the murmurs started. It wasn't just that Mboko was holding her own, it was how. She danced on the court like she had composed the rhythm of the game herself. Her serve was fluid. Her returns, fearless. Coco misfired a forehand. Another double fault. First break of serve, Mboko gasps. A Canadian flag waved furiously in the upper rows. An elderly man whispered to his wife. She reminds me of Serena. Back when she was raw. but with a jazz player's freedom. 22-10, the turning point. By now, the camera crews had caught on. Every Mboko move drew closer shots, each reaction scrutinized. A girl from the Bronx had ruled the spotlight coming in, but a girl from Boucherville was stealing it live. Down 3-1, Gauff pounded a serve down the tee, 116 miles per hour. Ace. But Mboko didn't flinch. She responded with a kicker serve, followed by a stinging inside-out forehand. The crowd roared. Next game, another break. Mboko up 5-1. She closed the first set with a textbook drop shot that had Gauff sprinting, sliding, and missing by inches. Set score, 6-1 Mboko. Time elapsed, 31 minutes. 33:40, the pause. At the changeover, Gauff sat motionless. Her team leaned in from a box, shouting encouragement. But she stared past them, into the crowd, where kids waved signs that now bore both their names. Across the net, Mboko leaned back, breathing slow, sipping water. She was thinking of her mother, how she used to braid her hair between junior matches. Play like you already belong there, she'd say. And Mboko did. 41:50, the fight back. Gauff wasn't the top seed by accident. Her game evolved with urgency. She flattened her strokes. She gritted through long rallies. She let out guttural screams on winners. At 2-2 in the second set, it felt like the tide had turned. Momentum had swung. Gauff was back. The American crowd in Montreal roared louder. But that's when Mboko smiled. She wasn't here to play defense. She was here to write something. 48:02, the point of the match. A 22-shot rally. Slices, moonballs, net charges. It ended with Mboko sprinting wide and hitting a flick backhand passing shot around the post. Yes, around the post. The crowd exploded. Gauff stood frozen, jaw clenched. She clapped her racket twice, a rare gesture of acknowledgement. Commentators lost their minds. She's not just a future star, one said. She's arrived. 56:30, match point. It was 5-2, Mboko serving for the match. She bounced the ball once, twice. The stadium held its collective breath. The Canadian sky, now dusk-streaked, hovered above her like a witness. Serve. Wide. Return. Short. Forehand. Deep into the corner. Gauff lunged but came up short. Game. Set. Match. 1 hour, 2 minutes. Mboko defeats Gauff, 6-1, 6-2. Aftermath. Cameras swarmed her, but Mboko didn't run to them. She ran to the crowd, arms wide, laughing, crying. Her brother caught her in a hug, spinning her in the air like they used to on the old court back in Scarborough. In the post-match interview, she was asked if this was her biggest win yet. She paused. Maybe, she said, but I don't think this is the peak. I think it's just the beginning. The interviewer smiled. Did you imagine beating the world number 1 in 62 minutes? Mboko grinned. I imagined being the world number 1. I guess I'm ahead of schedule. Epilogue the night after. Gauff left the court with dignity, offering brief applause to the rising star. In the locker room, she reportedly told her team, she's the real deal. Keep an eye on her. Meanwhile, Mboko stayed late, signing autographs, taking photos, hugging ball kids. And as the stadium lights dimmed and the wind blew cool across the hard court, a headline flashed on every screen in the country. Mboko shocks Gauff in Montreal masterclass. But in her heart, Veronique Mboko knew it wasn't a shock. It was a statement.